Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're going deep into the world of internet cults.
Oh, yeah.
You guys have been exploring some pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it's disturbing, right? We've got a whole stack of YouTube videos,
Hmm.
articles, really mix of sources here.
Yeah, a lot to dig into.
Yeah, a lot to dig into. Publicly buzzed, Redline, Rotten Mango, Wendigoon. We're talking about,
Some of the big ones.
some of the big names in this space.
Mhm.
We're going to be exploring stories of manipulation
Yeah.
and belief and really kind of trying to figure out,
Right.
where's that line between, a harmless online group
Yeah. Where to?
and a full-blown cult, right?
It's a good question because it's a blurry line.
It is. It's a blurry line, yeah. So let's jump right in. I think a good place to start is with this case from a publicly buzzed video. It's about the 764 cult.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, this one really stuck with me, and it focuses on the arrest and trial of this guy, Bradley Cadenhead. And what's really crazy is how he used platforms like Discord, which,
Yeah, meant for gamers and stuff.
yeah, think of it as like a place for gamers and community building,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But he created a space for something way more sinister.
Yeah, and that's the thing these days. You've got anonymity online.
Right.
So these platforms, they can easily be weaponized. Someone like Cadenhead, he can hide who he really is and exert all this influence over vulnerable people.
Right.
And it leads to some pretty awful stuff. Coercing people into self-harm,
Yeah.
even potential connections to violence,
Yeah, like this case, the attack on this 82-year-old man.
Yeah, it's scary stuff.
And the details.
Yeah.
They're just disturbing. Victims carving iHeart CP764 on themselves.
Oh, gosh.
And you find out 764 is Cadenhead's hometown zip code.
What? Really?
Yeah.
It's like
It's like he's branding them.
a mark of
His own personal
a symbol.
mark of control.
Exactly. And it's that's something you see a lot with cult leaders. Creating a shared identity,
Yeah.
reinforcing their authority, separating the group from the outside world.
Right.
It's a powerful tactic psychologically.
Makes you think, right?
Yeah.
This online environment, it connects people instantly across the globe.
Right. Huge reach.
Is it almost like tailor-made for this kind of manipulation?
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Because,
it makes sense.
I think cults, they're the thing of the past.
Yeah.
Right?
You read about them in history books.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy stuff from way back when.
But then we have this Redline video,
Okay.
and it highlights how cults have been around for a long time,
Really?
even in the world of gaming.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it talks about the very first cult-developed game dating back to 1985.
Wow. Back then.
Yeah, created by this group called the Familia.
What a name.
Yeah, it was a group of women.
Interesting.
They lived this Victorian lifestyle.
Like really committed to it.
Yeah, and they made games on the side.
Huh. On the side?
Their most famous game, though,
Okay, what was it?
Jack the Ripper.
No way.
And get this.
Okay.
It was the first game to get an 18-plus rating in Britain.
Oh, wow. That's
The irony.
a little ironic, isn't it?
Right. This group, traditional lifestyle,
Yeah.
making a game about a serial killer.
It just shows you cults, they're not always what you expect.
No, they're not. And this was way before the internet as we know it.
Right. Right.
But of course, today, you see cults popping up in online games all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like the Order of the Cabbage in RuneScape.
Oh, really? In RuneScape?
Yeah.
That's wild.
So you've got this online game.
Mm.
It's centered around a virtual cabbage.
A cabbage.
A cabbage, yeah.
It seems harmless on the
Yeah.
surface.
You would think.
Yeah.
But it becomes a breeding ground for cult-like behavior.
Yeah, I guess it goes to show, even in the digital world, we still crave that sense of belonging,
Yeah.
that community, that purpose.
Yeah, purple.
And those desires, they can be exploited
Absolutely.
by anyone seeking control.
Yeah. And it kind of brings us to this case
Okay.
that takes a much darker turn. The Anthill Kids.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that one.
We've got videos from Rotten Mango and Wendigoon on this.
Oh, those are good channels.
They paint a truly horrifying picture of this cult led by Rocantherio.
Therio, yeah. His case is classic,
Yeah.
Charismatic leader, pretends to be all about health and this commune, right?
Organic living, self-sufficiency.
Yeah, appeals to people who just want a simpler life.
Yeah.
But then it just spirals.
Yeah. And it's the progression.
It's terrifying.
It really is. Starts with isolation, bizarre rituals, but escalates to just unimaginable cruelty.
Yeah.
We're talking about Therial punching his pregnant wife.
Oh, God.
Forcing members to fight each other.
No way.
Performing these dangerous surgeries on them.
Oh, it's just, yeah.
With no medical training.
I mean, this is textbook game of convincing.
The game of convincing.
It's a term from cult studies.
Okay.
Basically, the leader manipulates their followers' reality.
So it's not just physical control.
It's mental.
It's their minds.
Their thoughts, their beliefs.
Yeah, and the fact that Theriot convinced a member to amputate another member's arm.
Oh, my God.
It just shows how deep that control ran.
It's incredible the power these leaders have.
And it's important to remember.
Yeah.
This kind of manipulation, it often starts subtly.
Right.
There's like this honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
Leaders, charming, charismatic.
Creates that sense of community, belonging.
Which it can be really seductive.
Very seductive, yeah.
It's chilling to think, even in our own homes, we can be vulnerable to this kind of manipulation online.
Scary to think about.
And speaking of online spaces that seem harmless at first glance,
okay,
we have this Nexpo video.
I love Nexpo.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's about the mystery of the paranoia.com website.
Oh, that one's interesting.
This one really shows how fringe beliefs and conspiracy theories can thrive online.
They spread so fast online.
Yeah, because information spreads so rapidly.
It's unchecked, you know?
Right, no one's really filtering in.
No one's fact-checking.
So paranoia.com, it started as this haven for free speech.
Okay, free speech.
But it shut down eventually.
What happened?
And the domain is now owned by Disney.
What? Disney.
Disney.
I would not have guessed that.
It makes you wonder what Disney's going to do with that domain name, right?
Right. What are they planning?
But it also ties into this other video we have.
Okay.
From Lights Out.
Okay, Lights Out, yeah.
About the blood over intent internet ritual.
Oh, that one's creepy.
Led by Mark Sargent.
Right.
Who claimed to be the reincarnation of Satan.
Oh, yeah, that guy. It's like these two examples.
Yeah.
They show the power of the internet to create these echo chambers.
Right.
Where fringe beliefs and weird ideologies just flourish.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder.
Yeah.
We need to be critical of the information we see online.
Especially in these insular communities.
Exactly, yeah.
And maybe this is a good place to pause.
Okay.
Take a breath.
Yeah, catch our breath.
Before we jump into some more examples.
Yeah, we've got a lot more to cover.
And really try to unpack the psychology behind all of this.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
You know?
That's what I'm here for.
It's fascinating stuff.
It is.
But it's a lot to process.
It is a lot to process.
So yeah, let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Sounds good. It's crazy, right? Like the internet's become this breeding ground for all these fringe beliefs.
It really is.
Yeah.
And they spread like wildfire.
Yeah. And it makes you wonder, what is it about online spaces that makes them so conducive to this kind of thinking? Like, we've always had fringe groups, conspiracy theories.
Well, I mean, they've always been there.
But the internet, it's like it's on steroids or something.
Yeah.
It just amplifies everything.
And I think a big part of it is how information spreads online, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's just so fast. It's unfiltered.
Yeah.
How do you even know what's true anymore?
Yeah, exactly. And you get stuck in these echo chambers where you're just constantly bombarded with information that confirms your biases.
And critical thinking just goes out the window.
Yeah, it's gone. So it's not even just about finding people who think like you.
Right.
It's about constantly reinforcing those beliefs.
Even if they're totally wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It creates this like self-perpetuating cycle
of misinformation.
And it can be really dangerous.
Oh, absolutely. Especially when you're talking about cults.
Yeah.
Because they prey on people who are already vulnerable, right? People searching for answers.
Yeah.
And they come in offering this sense of belonging, purpose.
Certainty.
Yeah, certainty. In a world that feels so chaotic.
Yeah, yeah. Like they give you this...
It's appealing,
prepackaged worldview.
Yeah, a set of answers to all the big questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Which can be so tempting if you're feeling lost.
Like, I'm thinking back to that blood over intent ritual that we talked about earlier.
That was a wild one.
It's like the need for answers can lead people down some really strange paths.
Oh, for sure. Believing that a YouTuber is the reincarnation of Satan.
I know, right?
That's some next level fringe stuff.
It's a whole other level.
But it also highlights how important charisma is in these online cults.
Oh, yeah.
Like Mark Sargent, he cultivated this whole persona online.
Yeah.
He was this authority figure with this secret knowledge.
Right, and it drew people in.
Like moths to a flame.
And it reminds me of Rock Therio.
Oh, yeah, good point.
And his whole Moses persona.
It's like a classic cult leader move.
Right, this charismatic leader.
Yeah.
It seems to be a recurring theme in cults.
Online and offline.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just charisma, though.
Oh, no, they're masters of control.
It's control.
They isolate their followers. They dictate their beliefs.
Their behaviors.
Everything. And they use these techniques, love bombing.
Guilt tripping.
Yeah, to keep people emotionally dependent.
It's scary how effective it is.
It's incredibly effective.
And it all comes back to this idea of cognitive dissonance.
Ah, yes. Cognitive dissonance.
Right.
That's a big one.
It's this psychological phenomenon.
Right, where you have these conflicting beliefs.
And it creates this discomfort.
That you got to resolve somehow.
Yeah. And in a cult, you might see abuse.
Right.
But your belief in the leader.
Yeah, your belief in the group.
It makes it hard to leave.
You're trapped, basically.
You're in this mental trap.
Yeah.
And you have to rationalize the abuse.
Or abandon everything you believe in.
It's heartbreaking.
It is.
And it makes it so much harder to help people escape.
Because it's not as simple as just saying, leave.
No, it's way more complicated than that.
And we got to remember, people join cults for different reasons.
Yeah.
There's no one-size-fits-all explanation.
Right.
It could be loneliness, grief, searching for meaning.
And it brings us back to that theme of belonging.
Yeah, we all want to feel connected.
We do. We want to be part of something bigger than ourselves.
It's a fundamental human need.
And sadly, cult leaders exploit that.
Oh, they're experts at it.
And the internet just makes it easier for them.
Yeah, it's like a giant recruiting tool.
So what does all this mean for us?
Right. Good question.
The average internet users.
Yeah. How do we protect ourselves?
From falling prey to these online cults.
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I think the first step is awareness.
Okay.
We need to educate ourselves about the dangers.
Yeah.
The tactics they use, the warning signs.
Okay, so like red flags, basically.
Exactly. Red flags.
And we need to be more critical thinkers.
Yes. Question everything you see online.
Especially from sources you don't know.
Right. Don't just blindly trust everything you read.
Yeah, be skeptical.
Healthy skepticism is key.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about people who are already in a cult?
That's tough.
How do we help them?
It's not easy, that's for sure.
It can't be as simple as just telling them to leave, right?
No, because they're often emotionally dependent.
Yeah.
There might be real consequences if they try to leave.
Yeah, it could be dangerous.
We gotta approach it with empathy,
Okay, so not blaming the victim.
No,
but offering support
and resources
to help them leave safely.
Exactly.
And maybe, just maybe,
yeah,
by having these conversations.
you're raising awareness.
Yeah, shining a light on this dark side of the internet.
Exposing it.
We can make it a little bit safer.
For everyone.
For everyone.
I think that's a great goal.
Yeah. And it's not just about cults. Right.
No, it's bigger than that.
It's about all kinds of manipulation online.
Exploitation.
Creating a digital landscape that's more resilient.
Yeah, more resistant to these bad actors.
We need to promote critical thinking.
And media literacy.
Build healthy communities online.
Where people feel supported and valued.
Yeah.
For who they are, not what they believe.
Right.
And maybe, just maybe,
yeah,
if we can do that, those fringe groups, they won't be so appealing anymore.
It's like we're building up the internet's immune system.
I like that, the internet's immune system.
So it can resist the infection of manipulation and control.
That's a great way to put it.
Man, it feels like we've just scratched the surface.
Yeah, we could talk about this for hours.
There's so much more to explore, the psychology of belief, the allure of these fringe ideologies.
Yeah, that's a deep rabbit hole.
And how the internet, it just amplifies everything.
It's a whole new world out there, digitally.
It's like we're bombarded with information.
From every direction.
All the time.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, how do you even sort through it all? What's real, what's not?
Right, and that's what makes us so vulnerable to manipulation. I mean, when we're feeling uncertain, overwhelmed, we want those easy answers.
Right, the simple explanations.
Even if they're coming from, shady sources.
It's like our brains are wired to look for patterns.
Meaning,
even when they might not be there.
We try to make sense of the world.
And the internet, with its algorithms.
Oh, don't get me started on the algorithms.
They just feed us what we already believe.
You know what you like.
It's like we're trapped in these echo chambers.
It's tough to break free.
So what do we do? Is there any way to, reclaim?
Yeah, good question.
Objectivity and critical thinking.
In this digital age?
Yeah, is there any hope?
I think there is.
Okay.
But it takes effort,
Okay, what kind of effort?
We got to be more aware of our own biases,
Mm-hmm.
more skeptical of what we see online,
Okay.
and willing to talk to people who disagree with us.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know, right?
It's like everyone's shouting their opinions.
All the time.
You can't even hear yourself think.
It's a challenge, for sure.
But you're saying it's a challenge worth taking on.
Absolutely, because if we don't,
Yeah.
we lose our ability to think for ourselves.
Right, to figure out what's true.
To make good decisions.
It's like we're at this crossroads.
Yeah, a digital crossroads.
And we got to decide what kind of future we want.
Right. Do we want to be manipulated?
By algorithms, echo chambers.
Or do we want to have real conversations?
Share different perspectives.
Find the truth.
It's choice, huh?
Every day, every click.
Every share, every interaction.
It all adds up.
And it shapes our world.
The future of our society.
So as we wrap up this deep dive
Yeah, it's been a journey.
into the world of internet cults,
And beyond.
we want to leave you with some key takeaways.
Things to remember.
Be aware of the dangers.
Manipulation is everywhere online.
Develop your critical thinking.
Question everything.
Be skeptical.
Don't trust blindly.
And remember, you're not alone.
There's help out there.
Resources to keep you safe.
Stay curious.
Keep exploring.
Never stop asking questions.
Because in the end, it's our curiosity, our critical thinking.
That'll help us build a better digital world.
A world that's more informed
More resilient.
and more human.
That's what we're striving for.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone.
It's been a pleasure.